Hola, bienvenidos. Welcome to the Good Expat podcast. Here, you discover how to learn Spanish effectively, develop a confident mindset, and build meaningful relationship with the locals so you can embrace and enjoy your new life in Spain the right way. I'm your host, Coach Jaime, and this is what's coming up in today's episode. And I wonder if you've ever seen, or you can sort of imagine, what a bad guest would look like in a house party. Maybe they came to the event empty-handed, or they, even though the host or hostess is feeding them, is creating conversation, but maybe these guests decide to maybe stay among themselves in a corner, not participating in the rest of the event. I bring this example up because I think it's very relevant to my idea of being a good expat. And I feel that now that you live in Spain, you have the opportunity to decide what kind of new person you would like to be. Before today's episode, I'd like to invite you to my weekly Intro to Spanish workshop, where I'll show you how to learn Spanish and integrate in Spain while saving time, money, and effort. I want to guide you through my 6-step process that will help you choose the right way to learn Spanish for you, speed up your integration process by up to 55%, and avoid the 12 most common mistakes that I see expats often making in Spain. It's fun, it's interactive, and in just 60 minutes, you'll learn what would otherwise take you months to figure out on your own, even if you're already studying with a teacher. Would you like to join me live and 100% for free? Simply head over to ablaacademy.com/workshop. That's ablaacademy.com/workshop, or simply scan the QR code that you can see on your screen. And now, back to today's episode. Who is a good expat? What does it mean to be a good expat? What are the characteristics of a good expat? Why is this podcast called The Good Expat? These are the questions that I'd like to answer for you on this number 1 episode of this podcast. But before I go ahead, I'd like to share with you how terribly insecure and nervous I'm feeling right now. I've had the idea of putting a podcast together or hosting a podcast for a long time, and I never felt right. I guess I never had the vision, the clarity that I have right now around this concept of the good expat that I have right now. Something that I feel that I can give value, that I can inspire, and that I can create community around it. But before anything else, I just want to say that I want to apologize for perhaps the lack of good sound quality or visuals or technicality, or even the scripting or anything else. I own the fact that this will be my worst ever podcast in my life since it's the first one. And I've been procrastinating recording this episode the whole bloody week, but it's time. Time to get this shit done and get the project started, huh? Mira, before we talk about what a good expat is, let me give you the following example. Think of the last time that you went to a house party or a house gathering, or when you were invited to somebody's house, and you probably either were told or you kind of knew how to behave in that house, no? That's sort of these unspoken rules or how to behave when you visit somebody else's property, no? And especially you want to be a good host, so you want to be a good guest, and you want to respect the rules you've been told. Don't open these doors, take your shoes off and stuff. And I wonder if you've ever seen, or you can sort of imagine, what a bad guest would look like in a house party. I guess they're sort of, maybe they came to the event empty-handed, or they, even though the host or hostess is feeding them, is creating conversation, but maybe these guests decide to maybe stay among themselves in a corner, not participating in the rest of the event. I bring this example up because I think it's very relevant to my idea of being a good expat. And I feel that now that you live in Spain, you have the opportunity to decide what kind of new person you would like to be. I'm talking to you as a man, I'm talking to you as a woman, or you being a woman, but obviously I'm referring to you as an expat, just to encapsulate this new side of yourself. So along this podcast, I like to share my vision of what a good expat means, and and everything else, or everything that stands behind, and why I'm very committed to this particular idea. In case we've never met, or most likely you've never heard of me before, maybe you've seen me pass by in social media, I'd like to tell you that despite being a Spanish native, I've been an expat since 2001, right? Hence this English, because I'm pretty much bilingual. I've been speaking Spanish, and I have been speaking English for half my life. So that's why I don't speak English. I don't speak English like this, like other English teachers. Huh? Since 2001, that I've been living in 5 countries, and I'm currently learning my 4th language. So I know all about the challenges and the obstacles and the fears and the insecurities and the process of arriving new to a new country, to a new territory, and start again, and create a community and get known, and see what's up, and learn and get accustomed to the local ways, no? And also with the language. I became a language teacher. I became an English teacher, and I taught in a traditional environment for 3 years until I went solo and I started doing my own thing, teaching Spanish. I saw this opportunity of teaching Spanish to the locals in Ibiza, the international locals. But then as I was teaching, on my personal side, I was facing a lot of challenges. I felt very lonely, even though I'm Spanish and I was in the island of Ibiza. It was still a new city for me, a new place for me. And I was struggling to belong and integrate and create community and build a tribe. So I started my own process of self-development to do something about it. And then I noticed that my students were going through exactly the same thing as an expat, not being able to connect or communicate or being invited. So I started merging the teaching with coaching. And that's how I became a language coach and integration mentor, because those are my 2 sort of areas of expertise of how to learn, in this case, Spanish in an effective, fun, and efficient way. And with the integration side, it's more on the community, more on the connecting, more on the in the social side. Huh? While I've been working with my clients for the past decade, that was something that it always came up. I make sure that every time I meet them for the first time, I make sure that I want to know where they're going, where they came from, what they're struggling with, and I always make my notes on the iPad while we are live on the call. So I'm following them, and then I repeat them back to them. So I make sure that I understand where they are, and then I've been building or gathering a collection of notes, and going through my notes, I noticed there was a common thing, and that was that I want to do the right thing. I want to do the right thing. What does that mean? I want to do the right thing. I want to learn Spanish, and I want to integrate. And I always had this idea of playing, of using this concept of doing the right thing. And I didn't know what to do. I've been sort of mentioning it or weaving it into my communication, but I didn't know what to do. But then it came to me after working with a mentor recently, a branding mentor, that we could create a bit of a tribe around this concept, and then the idea of the good expat materialized. And to me, a good expat is somebody who comes to Spain, has got the right attitude and the right mindset, not only to learn Spanish, but cares enough to integrate and connect with the locals. So there's a right way and there's a not so right way. And you can probably on your side, you can think of good expats. You can also think of expats that perhaps are, I don't want to use that. I don't want to, I've promised to myself that just because I'm calling this the good expat, I don't want to refer to anybody else in the negative way. Those who are not. So I throw the question back to you. You probably know good expats and expats that are not good. That's it. So I'm not using negative words. That I kind of said that to myself. Because to me, a good expat is seeing, it's accepting this new responsibility in their new life in Spain. Okay, so I'm new here. Okay, so I'm just here to take the food and to take the sun and to take the friendly people and stuff? Or am I here to give? Just like you, when you get a new job and you decide what type of colleague or what type of teammate you want to be, but this is exactly the same, exactly in your relationships. What kind of husband do you want to be? What kind of partner, what kind of parent do you want to be? Not sure if you've ever decided this consciously or unconsciously, but as an expat, this is an invitation for you to consider and decide which type of expat you want to be. Because if you want to be a good expat, this is all we are all about here. I'll share my screen so you can actually follow along. Especially so this next point lands. The 5 main traits that I feel good expats have are these ones: curiosity, vulnerability, they're respectful, positive, and ambitious. I'll explain. Curious, why? Because I feel that I've dealt in the past with 2 types of clients that sort of just come and do and go through the motions, and then they don't really do anything extra to learn and to get closer to the language or to meet more people. They're just doing enough. Maybe they decided that learning Spanish was good, that was the right thing to do for them, but they weren't really being any extra curious, coming up with questions. And I think a good expat, it's always asking questions, asking how to do better, how to get more, how to learn more, to make the most out of this new opportunity in Spain. Vulnerability, I think it's also very important, because we need to recognize that our limitations and then decide when is the right time to ask for help, being vulnerable. Even if you are in a conversation with a local and you feel a little bit lost, a little bit confused, I encourage my clients to express that. Listen, this is the way I'm feeling right now, and own it. Please work with me because I'm a beginner and I need your patience. No, so that's why I think vulnerability is very, very important. To be respectful, but of course, if you are now in a new culture with new people, with new traditions, with new costumes, but it's only fair that a good expat respects the way it's being done locally now in the new territory, not trying to come from outside into a new place and impose. Same thing with a house guest, like no shoes in my house. No, but I like wearing my shoes. Well, but not in my house. Or the same thing, if a good expat doesn't expect the locals to talk to them in English, or it doesn't expect the locals to accommodate to them. A good expat accommodates and understands the locals and tries to meet them. No. Positive. A good expat is positive because there are many challenges and obstacles along this new path in a new country. The language, the community, the paperwork, the distance, the loneliness, the family, and it's very important to have this positive mindset, an optimistic mindset that is all being done for a big vision. And this is something very important that I work with my clients, not having the clear what is it that we're working towards. So it kind of gives it the energy and fuel to overcome everything, that all the obstacles that come our way. And ambitious, because we are here for more. We are here because we want a bloody amazing life. What's the word that I'm looking for here? We're looking for an abundance life. That's it. This is what we want here. We want more of everything that is good. So we want to be surrounded by good people. We want to have opportunities. We want to enjoy the whole of Spain, not just our city with the expat bubble, that the people that talk to us in English. No, once you speak Spanish, you can travel throughout the whole nation and discover and learn from the culture. So you can see I'm very passionate about this. These are traits that I have been working on my personal life as a man and as an expat, and I feel that being a good expat is just a call. It's an invitation to raise your standards and to ultimately become a good, better person. Now, what can you expect from this podcast called the Good Expat Podcast? Well, I feel that even if you've decided that you want to integrate and connect and call Spain home, learning words and memorizing grammar, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's only going to get you to transactional Spanish. So you can go to a shop, hola, ¿qué tal? I need, boom, thank you, boom. But it's not going to help you to create community, integrate and participate and get involved and talk to other parents and connect and belong. Huh? So in this podcast, I'm going to be covering certain themes that are not being covered in any other language learning podcast. I'll be focusing on, of course, how to learn. So not so much about grammar or how pronunciation, but how to learn in an efficient way, how to create good routines, how to have a good mindset, how to memorize things well, no? Mindset, self-development, relationships. I'll be bringing experts, guests to dissect and be more specific around certain topics that perhaps a little bit outside the realm of my expertise, but I think they find it relevant. I think you would find them useful on your journey. Huh? And this is all done to help you go from where you're now to become a good expat, overcoming all those challenges. And the three main challenges as an expat from where you are now to become a good expat, it's the learning, it's the mindset, and it's the integration. Knowing what to say, have the balls to say it, and have locals to say it too. And that's the main three challenges in a nutshell. And I feel like I said, most traditional methods only focus on the what, but they don't help you grow a pair to speak and show up with confidence and obviously connect. Huh? Now I've arrived at the end. You don't understand. This is big for me. I'm making my podcast and I'm producing something that I think is going to be of value to people. So to me, it's very excited that I've arrived to the end of my first podcast. So now I'd like to ask you to get involved and to leave your thoughts. Especially on this particular episode number 1, it will mean the world to me if you could just leave a comment either here on YouTube or on Spotify. And tell me what you think about this podcast. If it resonates, I don't know, any particular topics you would like me to discover or anything else, it would mean the world to get some feedback. And why not? I'll be honest, a little bit of validation that this is a good project and it's going to be of value to some of you. Huh? And also be curious if you are already a good expat, if you already have these traits over here, which one you think you're kind of a bit more behind, or which one you think you got under control. I'm curious. And of course, I'll be curious if you aspire to become a good expat, if it makes sense to you, if you see that as a call to raise up your standards and to become more and better and grow. This is Coach Jaime from ABLA Academy. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hablamos.